Welcome back to our final segment today here on Cityline, and joining us now is the Tacoma Little Theatre. And first of all, Chris Surface, the Managing Artistic Director of Tacoma Little Theatre. Welcome, Chris.
Hi, Jeff. Thank you so much for having us. We're happy to be here.
And Eric Klossel, the Director and Choreographer of A Chorus Line. Welcome, Eric.
Hi there. It's great to see you, everyone, and nice to be back 2 years later.
And Whitney Schaefer, actor, Cassie in A Chorus Line, and welcome, Whitney.
Hi, thank you so much for having us back.
It's good to see you all. And first of all, what's it like coming back to a show that you opened in March of 2020?
I'll start. It's a very surreal experience. We're all walking through this last tech week as if we have a sense of deja vu, like we've gone down this road before. The background on this is A Chorus Line opened March 6th, 2020, and then we had to shut down 1 week into the 4-week run of it on March 13th of 2020. We all know why, but it's very interesting being back. Eric, Whitney, I don't know what you think, but it's weird.
Yeah, I mean, surreal is a great word to describe it. It just feels like, yeah, this is so familiar and it's so different. And then when you think about 2 years has gone by and it feels so natural and real to be back in the theater and working on the show and seeing it come together, it's hard to imagine that 2 years has gone by and what that 2 years has been for all of us.
Yeah, it was super disappointing, of course, the first time around. And I think we kind of, at least from my perspective, I thought, I just kept kind of waiting. Oh, we're going to open in a couple months again. We'll get to come back to it. And then, everybody's shows didn't get to come back. And so there was a real sadness and disappointment about that. So it does feel just like really exciting and just really surreal to be back. So.
Well, I think I speak for the city of Tacoma and surrounding areas. I'm excited for live performances to be back, and I would imagine you all are as well. Chris, why did you decide to come back with A Chorus Line? What went into that decision?
It was an easy decision, really. I don't say this because I'm the artistic director of Tacoma Little Theatre, but the production that Eric and Jeff and his team put together was probably one of the best shows I've seen on stage in the Tacoma area in the past 20 years. And it needed to be seen by more people. So we worked very hard. We originally kept moving that date. We were like, oh, we'll come back in the summer. We'll come back in 3 weeks. We'll come back in 6 months. We'll come back in 12 months. And it kept moving. The neat thing was we have about 60% of the original cast that was able to come back and join us for the show. Eric's going to talk about that, I'm sure, too. But it was the right thing to do. It's so wonderful seeing it back on stage. Our audiences loved it. And I can't wait to see what this new batch of audience members think of the show as well.
So Whitney, the question is, why did you come back? But in addition to that, what has this 2-year period been like for you actors I would imagine that if you thought you were coming back in a couple months, like we all did, through this experience, that you kept up and fresh on your parts and everything, but I don't know, share a little bit about that too.
I tried to keep fresh. It was so challenging. And when you're a performer and singing and dancing and performing brings you so much joy, it's really hard to not be able to do it. There was a lot of like Zoom ballet classes in the last 2 years in my life. Lots of low periods of like, I'm tired of this. But ultimately, like, I'm a performer, I'm a dancer. There's a line that my character Cassie says over and over in different iterations throughout the show. I'm a dancer. A dancer dances. And so there's no way I could have said no to coming back. It just brings me so much joy to do this, and especially this show. It's just so fun, so special. And the character of Cassie just feels like so close to my heart as to how I feel about dancing specifically. So it was not a question of whether I was going to come back or not. It was just like, when do I get to do this again? So.
Excellent.
I have to say, as a director, as a director, to have someone like Whitney with her talent level and several of the other cast members who return to be willing to come back and to sort of make space for this new production, this revised production, is just so special to me, because these are the most talented people in this area by far that are on that stage. And so the fact that they are willing to come back when many of them have lots of other options has just been really special as well.
Excellent. So when you found out that some of the cast members were not going to be able to return, Eric, what were the auditions like for those open spots?
So we essentially went back to the drawing board like we did originally. So we put out a call to all the places where we advertised for auditions, and we had a big outpouring of people to come in, and we only cast for the parts that we needed. For me, it was really anxiety provoking because I had an attachment to the original cast. And so in my mind, you get fixed about who these people are on stage. And so trying to find people that were going to be that of similar talent level and experience was really scary, and it worked out so well. I'm so thrilled with the new cast members. They bring an energy, an exuberance, and talent level that matches the original cast so beautifully. And so I'm just thrilled with the our 2.0 version of the show with the new cast members. They brought a new energy and a new life to the show that I think is so important.
Whitney, anything to add on the auditions topic?
Well, it was nice knowing that I had like a secured part coming back into it, but I got to help Eric out with callbacks for the dance callbacks, and that was so fun to just come back to the choreo and see these new people who were super excited about being in the show. And yeah, same thoughts as Eric, as far as it was really sad to say goodbye to some people. A few people have moved away, just different things going on in their lives. But we've had just fantastic people filling those roles. And it all just feels like family, just like it did the first time. So it's been really special.
Sure. Well, let's build on that a little bit. You mentioned the role of Cassie and playing that iconic figure. Tell us a little bit about what that means to you, and especially in a show like Chorus Line.
Wow. I mean, you look at iconic figures that like Donna McKechnie, who was the original, and it's like, wow, I have big shoes to fill. And then even more recently, Robin Herder is a Broadway performer who's literally just one of my most favorite people to watch dance and perform. So big shoes to fill, but Cassie just feels so much like who I am. I'm getting a little bit older in age as a performer, and so it feels kind of, this is just so much a part of me, and I want to just keep doing it for as long as I can. So I mean, it's a really special role, and I feel like really special that I get to do it, and that I'm at an age in my life where, I remember looking at this role when I was younger, too young to play it, and being like, someday. And so I feel just insanely lucky that I get to do it.
Very good. So Eric, what have the the rehearsals been like in these challenging times?
Yeah, so, we started this rehearsal process on the sort of like during the peak of the Omicron wave. And so there was a lot of stress and anxiety about COVID precautions and making sure this huge cast of people would be healthy. So there was that stress. So we've been rehearsing in masks the entire time, which, kudos to this cast for taking that on, because Chorus Line is not an easy show. It has a ton of dancing, a ton of singing, and to do all of that with a mask on is brutally hard. But I always said to the cast, treat it as conditioning. It'll be like, training in Denver and then performing in Los Angeles. So I think it's sort of strengthened the cast, but it's been really hard. People have had, been out. It's also tiring because we're also fatigued from COVID for 2 years. But again, I think the spirit and the determination of the cast to sort of be a part of this and to put this show together and to have a wonderful show is really shined through. And I'm just amazed by this cast, by how much they've had to deal with in their lives and with COVID, to come in focused, to do this work and to do it in such a beautiful way. And share their talents. It's just really, again, I hate to say it again, but it's just really beautiful.
Nice.
Yeah.
Whitney, your perspective on the rehearsals?
Oh yeah, it's been super challenging. I was in a show that kind of crossed over with performances and rehearsals for a chorus line right before this, and we ended up having to postpone. And I and my family got COVID. There was several cast members from both shows that I was participating in. And so it was very like stressful, just like what's going to happen? Are we going to have to shut this down again? So that was pretty stressful. And then also, yeah, rehearsing in masks is tough. But it has, like Eric said, it literally has conditioned us to be able to have higher stamina while we're up there on the stage singing and dancing. So I'm grateful for that, even though it was challenging, especially for my solo. I have this long kind of marathon dance solo where I'm singing and dancing back and forth, and it's pretty intense. And the first time I did it without my mask last week, I was like, oh, I can breathe. So that prepared me well. It's been challenging though, but worth it.
Excellent. So Chris, tell us about the performance dates, and tickets are still available, I would imagine, or not? Or...
Tickets are available, but they are going fast. Opening weekend is almost completely sold out, which is a wonderful thing. We open March 11th, Friday, and run through Sunday, April 3rd. Performances are Fridays and Saturdays at 7:30 p.m., Sundays at 2 p.m., and then we have a special Pay What You Can performance, which is exactly what it sounds like. You pay what you can on Thursday, March 24th, and those tickets are available now. Those you have to do either over the phone or in person to get the Pay What You Can price.
Excellent. All right. Well, let's look a little further out. What's coming up next for the Little Theater Off the Shelf?
For our off-the-shelf program, we have a great piece called Boudica, which opens on March 17th. It's a one-night only staged reading at 7:30 p.m. And we're doing this in celebration of Women's History Month. It's a powerful, powerful story. I'm not going to tell you too much about it other than you'll want to come. It's a special start time of 7 p.m. Tickets are $10, or if you are a season ticket holder or Flex Pass holder at Tacoma Little Theater, they're absolutely free. And it's directed by the talented Chevy Chung and a outstanding cast of performers from around our community being a part of it. We also have coming up our education programs. Our spring break camp is Willy Wonka Jr., which happens during spring break for TPS and UP schools. Then we have our summer camps, which have started enrolling, which is the Lion King Jr. and the Little Mermaid Jr. So lots of good things coming up, including the last 3 shows of our season. Happiest Song Plays Last, The Luck of the Irish, and Silent Sky.
Wow. Well, seems like you have your work cut out for you over the course of the next few months and the rest of the year. So, well, any final comments? We appreciate you all being here today.
I want to, number one, just thank everybody in the community who's come out to help us with everything and bring back live theater and performances to it. The one thing I will say is that Tacoma Little Theater is keeping its mask policy and vaccination policy in place through the end of the run of Chorus Line, since it changes after the show has opened. And we just want to make sure we're the first industry to close down if something goes wrong and the last one to reopen. We want to be doing theater as long as we can. So we're going to keep that in place and then reevaluate it after a few weeks have passed of the mask mandate being lifted.
Well, let's see. I think we're just about out of time. Again, I want to thank Chris Surface, Managing Artistic Director of the Tacoma Little Theater, Eric Colosso, the Director and Choreographer of A Chorus Line, and Whitney Schaefer, actor, the Cassie role in A Chorus Line. We really appreciate you being here today on Cityline. Thank you.